marbles game. This game was a total slap in the face, not just for the players, but for everyone watching. It all starts when the contestants are told to pair up. For a moment, there's a sense of relief. After so many terrifying games, now they'd finally have a partner. But nope, a few minutes later comes the punch. It's not a team game, it's one against the other. Those who thought they were teaming up with friends were actually choosing their opponent in a life or death match. Only one survives.
Players, please take one bag each from the staff member before you. You will play the game of your choice with your partner. The player who manages to take all 10 marbles from their partner wins. Let the game begin.
Panic kicks in, because among those pairs, there are best friends, elderly players who respect each other, and even a married couple. The challenge? A simple marble game. Each player starts with 10 marbles. The goal sounds easy, but it's brutal. You have to win all 20 marbles from your opponent before time runs out. Each pair decides how they want to play, but if you don't win before the clock's up and you're not holding all 20 marbles, you're out. The result is absolutely devastating, with a brutal chain of painful deaths. This plot twist is one of the cruelest in the entire series, because it's not just about losing, it's about having to lie, deceive, betray, or accept the death of someone you care about. The emotional tension hits the roof as we watch the pairs go head-to-head. Fan-favorite characters are taken out all at once, like Ali, and of course the most shocking one, Oh Il-nam, the sweet old man with dementia. Gi-hoon, trying to cheat, tells Il-nam that he lost 2 marbles, but he actually hid them. But in the end, Il-nam gives him a little smile like he knew what was happening all along. He hands over his last marble and accepts his fate, with a smile. Except, as we learn later, none of it was what it seemed. There's also Ali. Poor Ali, who fully trusted Sang-woo, his friend. But Sang-woo pulls off a cold-hearted trick. He switches Ali's marbles for fake stones and deceives him until the end. When Ali realizes it, it's already too late. And then there's the scene that broke absolutely everyone. Kang Se-byuk and Ji-young. Most pairs jump straight into playing, but not them. They sit down, open up, and share everything they have been holding inside. Then, as the clock starts ticking down, Ji-young makes a heartbreaking choice. She suggests they play one single round. Simple. Winner takes it all. They play, and Ji-young purposely loses for a very special reason.
Just let me lose this thing in style, okay?
Ji-young, that's bullshit. Stop acting cool and just do a real throw.
You can do it. Don't die in here, okay? And go.
This episode is hands down one of the most emotionally brutal ones, not just because of the losses, but because of how the game completely destroyed trust and forced people to betray the ones they loved the most. And besides those we saw, 18 others were eliminated too. The Riot. This wasn't technically a game, but it was one of the bloodiest moments in the entire series. It all starts with an egg, or better yet, the lack of one. The players are handed a tiny meal, 1 egg and a bottle of water. Then Deoksu grabs more than his share, and when there's no food left, some people end up with nothing. Chaos starts bubbling up. Player 271 calls Deoksu out for taking extra food. He didn't know it yet, but that call-out cost him his life. Without thinking twice, Deoksu attacks the guy right there. He kills him with a broken bottle, in front of everyone. That was the green light for total mayhem. The players quickly realize the guards did nothing, which means they can eliminate whoever they want. That night, the dorm turns into a war zone. Full-on riot mode. Players attack each other with whatever they can find. Bottles, metal bars, pillows to suffocate people, blankets twisted into ropes. There are no rules anymore. It's kill or be killed. And 28 players lost their lives that night. The violence is insane, raw, merciless. Desperation turns regular people into predators, and it's all driven by one simple equation. Fewer players equals better chances to win. Everyone realized that killing not only was allowed, it could actually be useful. Paranoia takes over. No one sleeps peacefully after that. The result? 27 dead. The Tug of War Game. If anyone still thought Squid Game was just a weird survival game, this round ended that thought real quick. The rules seemed simple. Classic tug of war. 2 teams pull on a rope.
To the third game. Today's game is Tug of War. In order to win, you must pull the rope towards your platform in an attempt to drop your opponents down below.
Whoever wins survives, but their version comes with a little twist. The losing team drops off a giant platform straight to their deaths. What looked like a childhood game turns into an absolute nightmare. Every pull of the rope is basically a sentence. The sound of the metal creaking, the screaming, the pure terror in everyone's eyes. It's impossible not to feel it.
Steps up when I signal. They'll just trust me and they'll fall. 1, 2, 3. Go now!
When a team loses, there's no mercy. They get yanked off the platform, screaming, falling dozens of meters to their deaths. And the worst part? Everyone else has to watch. In the end, 20 players were eliminated. The Glass Bridge. You walk into a dark room. Right in front of you, a bridge suspended high above the ground, made entirely of glass panels. Each step has 2 choices. One panel is tempered glass, strong enough to hold your weight. The other, regular glass. Step on that and you fall. No complicated rules. The nightmare? No one knows which panel is safe. The game becomes literal Russian roulette with your feet. And to make it worse, the order is random. Whoever goes first pretty much becomes the lab rat. The ones after, maybe, just maybe have a shot. At this point, there are still 16 players left, but not for long. Every step is pure anxiety. The sound of cracking glass, the echo of bodies falling, the horrified looks on the faces of those still alive. It's heavy. One by one, players fall, some because of bad luck, some because they rushed, and others out of pure desperation. In this game, strategy matters almost as much as having nerves of steel. That's why it gets even darker when some players start pushing others forward, using them as human test subjects.
I'll pick, okay?
Then comes the peak moment of chaos. Mienyo gets her revenge on Deoksu. She grabs him, locks him in a death grip, and throws herself off the bridge, dragging him straight into the abyss. A double fueled by hate and personal justice. But they weren't the only ones. When the survivors finally reach the end of the bridge, what should feel like relief turns into more pain. The glass panels left behind explode, sending shards flying everywhere, one of which seriously injures Saibyok, leaving her vulnerable for what comes next. By the end, only 3 players are left. The Honeycomb Game. At first, this one looks harmless. The players are asked to choose a shape, a circle, triangle, star, or an umbrella. None of them realize it yet, but this choice is basically picking the difficulty level of the next game. And if you pick the umbrella, you immediately regret it. The goal? Use a tiny needle to carve out the shape without breaking it. Sounds easy, right? Nope. Because if it cracks, you're done. The tension here is on another level, partly because of who's watching, the guards. Unlike the other games, here the guards aren't just standing back watching from a distance. They're right there, breathing down players' necks, watching every shaky hand, every drop of sweat. And if someone breaks the cookie, no warning, no second chance, just a cold, quick gunshot. You can literally feel the panic jumping off the screen. Some players try licking the cookie to make it easier. Others silently cry. Some just freeze. 79 players were eliminated. 6-legged Pentathlon. The second game in Season 2 makes it clear Squid Game didn't come back to go easy on anyone. Forget solo challenges. This one's about surviving together, or dying together. It sounds simple on paper, but it's hell in reality. Players are split into teams of 5. Their legs are tied together in pairs, like a 6-legged race. The mission? Complete a course full of obstacles and 5 minigames, and do it all in just 5 minutes. Each stage is an old-school childhood game. Flipping a dokji, tossing a stone, catching gongis mid-air, spinning a top, and finally kicking a shuttlecock 5 times without letting it fall. Sounds simple? Kinda, until your life depends on it. The catch? If just one player messes up, the entire team is eliminated. No mercy. 2 teams fail right away, executed on the spot. Gunshots echo through the air mixed with the screams of those watching, knowing they might be next. In this game, you can't carry someone. You move together or die together. Every mistake is a sentence. Every win feels like a miracle. Panic mixes with the crushing weight of knowing you're not just carrying your fate, you're carrying 4 others, all tied to the same rope. By the end, 110 lives are gone. Mingle. Another game that seemed like just a silly party trick. The name? Mingle. Basically, socialize. Players are taken to a massive circular platform that slowly starts spinning. For a brief moment, it almost feels chill, but obviously that doesn't last.
10 players.
Suddenly, the roulette spins and picks a number. Then the brutal rule drops. When the music stops, you must be inside a room with exactly that number of people. Too many? Death. Too few? Yeah, same thing. Full-blown panic sets in. No one wants to be the odd one out. Pushing, shoving, alliances formed and broken within seconds. The cruelest part? Sometimes the number drawn is tiny. If before being surrounded by allies felt safe, now being in a crowd gets you killed.
Neil's gonna be okay, right?
This game absolutely destroys any sense of teamwork. It turns the idea of socializing into a math-driven psychological nightmare. By the end, 155 players are dead. The Squid Game. Since the very beginning, we knew this moment was coming. Gi-hun versus Sang-woo. Two childhood friends. Grew up side by side in the same neighborhood. Now enemies in the final game. The setting? The actual Squid Game, the most iconic in the whole series. The playground where they used to play as kids is now the battlefield. The fight is brutal. Neither of them wants to kill, but both desperately want to survive. Sang-woo is exhausted, injured, but still determined. Gi-hun, on the other hand, is torn between the survival instinct and the memories of the friend he used to trust. In the end, Gi-hun takes Sang-woo down. Covered in blood, his old friend is right there, totally vulnerable. It's the moment of truth. But Gi-hun hesitates. He doesn't want to win like this. Instead of finishing him off, he offers a way out. Trigger the majority clause. If both of them agree to stop the game, they can leave alive. Together. But Sang-woo knows there's no going back. He looks at Gi-hun and makes a heartbreaking choice. He pulls out a small knife and takes... It was a devastating end. Red light, green light. If there's one scene from Squid Game that became TV history, it's this one. The exact moment when the show stopped being a social drama and turned into a full-blown nightmare. The game's simple. Everyone knows it. When the doll sings, you move. When the music stops, you freeze. Move after the music stops, you're out. But here, out means something else.
병신 걸렸네.
At first, no one gets what's happening. Everyone thinks it's some kind of prank. But when the second, the third, the 10th player collapses into pools of pure panic erupts, that's when the players and the viewers truly understand the nightmare they've stepped into. The field turns into an outright massacre. More than half of the participants are wiped out in minutes. The giant doll, with her sweet little voice and emotionless face, becomes the symbol of pure horror. The contrast between the innocent children's game and the brutal blood is horrifying. 255 players lose their lives. Terrifying, right? If Squid Game made one thing clear, it's that sometimes the biggest danger isn't the game itself, it's the people inside the game. And hey, there are 2 videos popping up on your screen right now that you'll totally love. Or should I say, be terrified of. If you like this one, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe.